Hello and welcome to Wolfman Gaming. This is my Bloodstained Curse of the Moon blind playthrough. And this is a game I wanted to play for a long time. And before we start playing, I'm just gonna jump into the options menu for a quick peek. Button config can always be a good thing to check out. Attack, square, jump, X. Okay, sub-weapon, command. Character change, okay. Seems easy enough, and we want vibration on and language in English, and yeah, I guess there's nothing more to do but to jump into this game. Come on, start new save file, mode normal, yes. An easygoing style, lives are unlimited and taking damage will not knock back the player. Oh my god, it's scrolling so slow. There is no penalty for selecting this style. Veteran, a style for those looking for a retro style challenge. Fuck retro style challenge. I'm going for casual. I remember when I was a kid, I played Castlevania, as most, I think a lot of gamers who grew up in the 80s did. And they were hard as balls, those games. There was once a man who had been given the moon's curse by demons. That man was Zangetsu. Wrapped in crimson garb with eyes like fire, he relentlessly pursued the demons who cursed him. As he journeyed from one pit of darkness to another, he would stop at nothing until he struck down every last demon in his path. One night he sensed the looming presence of a great demon. He swore to eradicate all demons, no matter how much of a threat they posed. Bathed in moonlight, he cried out as he drew his sword, which consumed the darkness from within its wretched steel. And it goes on. On that night, either the demons or the moon itself would feel the wrath of his blade. Sounds very ominous, I like it. But let me talk a little bit about this game. This is a Castlevania style game from what I've heard. And as I understand it, I have played through Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, got it for my birthday last year. And it was a super fun game, very reminiscent of Castlevania Symphony of the Night. And this is stage 1, Moonlight Temptation. And I played through it and I really enjoyed it, and then I picked up this game. I was gonna start this recording actually a while ago, and the reason I didn't is because I did the mistake of start playing Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin. And anyone who that's great. Anyone who's played a Dark Souls game knows what a fucking rabbit hole those games can be. When you start playing them, you start prioritizing your life. You start thinking that I don't need sleep. Do I really have to go to work? And I have gone to work and I've slept somewhat. But it has taken up a lot of my spare time, and I apologize for that. It's been a bit of a hiatus from my uploading due to that fact, but now I'm back again, so let's see if we can get through this game. And as I said, I played a lot of Castlevania when I was a kid, and I actually got the first game I played in the series was of course Castlevania 1, and I got Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest for my birthday one year. My dad took me to a place called Video and Audio, and they had this big wall of video games, and he told me to pick whichever one I wanted for my birthday. And since I had played Castlevania 1 over at a friend's place, I decided to go for Simon's Quest. Because since Castlevania 1 was awesome, I wanted to play Castlevania 2 because that had to be even more awesome. And anyone who has played both games knows that no, that is not the case. It is not as awesome as the first game. It's actually fucking ridiculous. And I don't know how they figured that someone would be able to beat those games. Oh, it seems I can use sub-weapons with the triangle button. However, that would require weapon points. If I destroy lamps, perhaps I can find a magic potion to restore my weapon points. I also understand that different colored lamps contain various sub-weapons I can use. Even so, I remain devoted to the sword. Oh, okay, my bad. Okay. We'll just use the D-pad instead for a few seconds. Either way, Simon's Quest was not such a great game as the first game was. It wasn't bad, I'm not gonna say that it was, but it was so much harder. And that was one of those games that really didn't tell you anything, you just had to figure things out. And I may be wrong in thinking so, because when I got that game I was so young I still hadn't learned to read in English. But I don't think the game explained very much either way. And this game, as far as I understand it, I think it's based a lot around Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse. And I have actually never played Castlevania 3. I'm not quite sure if that game was released in Sweden. It may have been, I'm not quite sure. Either way, no one I knew had it. We just played the shit out of the first game and tried to forget the fact that I had bought this, or that I had gotten the second game in the series. But having played through Ritual of the Night, the one based on Castlevania Symphony of the Night, this looks a lot like that, even though this is 8-bit graphics and that is more modern style. But there is a train level in that game as well. And that is also a game I very much recommend you pick up if you get the chance. If you have played Castlevania Symphony of the Night, you will most certainly enjoy Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, because I would say, actually, music-wise, Symphony of the Night is better. But when it comes to gameplay, oh my god, that's a big-ass golem. But as I said, when it comes to gameplay, I actually think that Bloodstained is a bit better. Because there is a bigger variation when it comes to your powers that you get. Can I talk to this guy? Can I kill him? Okay, I guess I'm forced to go to the right then. But as I said, I thoroughly enjoyed that game when I played it. And there are great variations, there are fun characters. The script is super cheesy. I was laughing so hard while I was playing that game. Wow. Okay, that's pretty quick to throw in a boss. Can we beat him? I think we can. I've been playing Dark Souls, bitch. You ain't nothing. Okay, didn't go as well as planned. Oh my god, he's shooting. But let's talk a little bit about Dark Souls 2. I said that I have put my channel a bit on hold since I was playing that, and that is true. And I must say, I'm really enjoying that game as well. Even though, oops, I wouldn't say that it's as good as the first game, or I played a remastered version of the first game. And I did think that that was better actually than this. I'm not super fond of the idea that your life bar actually decreases every time you die. Because you die because you're not very good at the game, most likely. And those games are punishing enough, even without punishing players. Because if you die, you do it because, as I said, you're not very good at the game. And to be punished further, to make the game even harder, just because you're not as good at it as you may want to be, I think that is a little bit unfair. Oh shit, I thought he died. Nope, he got superpowers. Yes, he did die. Trophy unlocked, Moonlight Temptation. That's right, bitch. Who's your daddy? But something that's very interesting in Dark Souls 2 that I realized while I was trying to soul farm a little bit. When you have killed a certain enemy enough times, he will not respawn. Thank you for saving me. Was it the demon's power you used to seal that beast? You're a shardbinder, sorry. The power can summon fourth dimensions at will. I cannot allow that. Wait, it is true that I am a shardbinder. However, I have sworn to be ever righteous in my command of this power. I refuse to be used for evil. Then show me the proof of that termination in battle. Miriam has become an ally. Cool. With new allies, it appears I can use the L1, R1 buttons to switch places with them. No one is without strengths and weaknesses. If I make good use of my allies, I can traverse seemingly impassable terrain. Whenever I reach a crossroads, I'll take the shortest path without fail. If I come to a fork in the path where I can't determine the shortcut, I'll follow the remains of fallen adventurers to lead me in the right direction. Each of my allies has their own stamina. If their health gets low, quickly switching places would be a wise idea. Each type of sub-weapon that appears when destroying lamps can only be used by a certain person. It seems no one else can pick them up. Alright. Whip. High jump. Slide. Okay. Cool. Yes, as I said, enemies don't respawn after you have killed them a certain amount of times. And that is an interesting mechanic because it makes it harder to soul farm, to buff up and get into higher or getting higher levels. But also the trade-off of that is if you're struggling with an area and say there are 10 enemies and you only manage to get past 4 of them every time, sooner or later there will be only 6 of them left because 4 will disappear. And I think that is a really interesting use of mechanic because I have never seen that mechanic in a game before, that enemies just fuck off and stop respawning. But anyway, we're getting close to the 14-minute mark. I'm gonna try to keep these episodes around 20 minutes, I think. I haven't decided yet. This first one is gonna be around the 20-minute mark at least. Let's see. Feel the wrath of Zangetsu, you ass. I really like the music in this game. It's those lovely 8-bit tunes. And I really like the retro style graphics. This is my childhood. Back before we were talking about 120 Hz and 4K graphics. This is what we played on, kids. I think this actually even looks a little bit better than the games did back then. So it's a false sense of 8-bit. And I must say, the controls are a bit on the stiff side. Not a super big fan of that, because jumping seems a little bit awkward. Maybe it's because I've been playing so much Dark Souls over the last couple of weeks. So I've gotten used to them. But it does feel... And also, I'm playing this with the Razer Raiju controller. And the D-pad on this controller has always been horrendous. All the buttons on this controller are super responsive, feel really nice, except for the D-pad. On my first Razer Raiju, I think I've talked about this previously on the channel, that this is actually my third one. Because the quality of these controllers seems to be a little hit and miss. But the D-pad has always been shitty. The buttons are really stiff to press down. So maybe, think I'll maybe switch to to a regular controller, and I just died. Even on casual, I managed to die. Bit awkward, but that's... Oh shit. Okay, Miriam died. Wonder how I get her back. Come on, you ugly SOBs. There we go. So it's a bit interesting at the beginning of a game where you don't know exactly what all the things you pick up do. Because, for example, those urns I've been picking up, I have no idea what they do. It's that they refill my sub-weapons, because I think the hearts are health. That's a staple in the Castlevania series. And I think it's been that way in all the games except for maybe in Simon's Quest, because then they were the ammo for your sub-weapons. For some reason. It makes no sense that Simon Belmont would use hearts so he would be able to throw holy water or crosses. Come on. And as I said, these enemies are really similar to the ones in Ritual of the Night. They just look a bit more old school. Oh, a bat. Of course there's a bat. I think in all the Castlevania games the first boss is always a bat. In Castlevania 1 we never really did manage to get past the bat, I think. Ooh. Okay, the jumping is really awkward. That is something I actually have to say, because... Wow. You have to move in the direction you want to jump before you actually jump. Or press the buttons at the very same time. And that is really... I guess that's something you're gonna have to get used to. Let's see. Can... Oh, for the love of... Throw one of those because they seem effective against these big lugs. Yes. Okay. Yeah, come on, big boy. Time to die. Oh, I guess I'm supposed to have Miriam so she can slide in there. Okay, that's annoying. Gonna have to get better at keeping her alive. But either way, before we head into the next area, I'm gonna end this episode right here. I want to thank you very much for watching, and I want to welcome you to this blind playthrough, and I hope you will enjoy it. But until next time... Wait a second, did I say everything? Thank you very much. Yes. Until next time, this is the Wolfman signing off.